You're tuned in to another episode of Recruitment Entrepreneurs by Recruit CRM. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Recruitment Entrepreneurs by Recruit CRM. And today we have with us Viacheslav. And Viacheslav, can you just give us a quick intro of who you are, where you're from, and what you do today?
Thank you, Sean. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to really thank you for this opportunity to have me today. Yes, I would be very interested to tell my story, which is really, of course, my small business started from myself indeed. Yes, so for more already than 17 years, I am really connected to the Arabic countries world because, yes, this is my specialty. This is my job. This is my really kind of professional task. I am doing this every day. Yeah, I'm graduated from People's Friendship University from Russia, linguistic faculty, Moscow. So from the first day there, I was my new language when I just entered the university was Arabic language. So it's really actually I will tell you this funny story. I never expected to be something connected with the Arabic language. I never maybe did before.
Okay.
I never wanted. But yeah, when I just really applied for university, it came for the first day to start the classes area. 1st September, we usually start classes and study in Russia.
Okay.
So I got there on 30 August and just trying to look my name in the list of students, which group were, okay, English, okay, no, Spanish, French, because they just distributed students' names like sometimes in the chaotic manner, but yeah, okay. Exactly. So I'm just trying to check at every group, where is my name? And last list I saw it was Arabic language group, which I believe was having like 6-7 students in compare with English, Arabic, and English and all the Eastern languages. Yeah, which is easy and really more maybe sometimes comfortable for us. It was 25 students, 30, but this list was very short and I wasn't it. So I really had a kind of first, it was strange impression for me. I came to the head of the faculty just asking why really, because I never expected to be there. I didn't ask for it, you know.
Yeah.
But
what did they tell you?
They tell me, see, Viacheslav, we have a huge number of students now, yeah? We just put your name there because just because. just try, try 1 week. Try 1 week. Give you 1 week of time. Just really try it. Maybe it's yours. Maybe it's not. If after 1 week you come back and tell us, I don't want it. Okay, we'll put you in group of English, French, whatever you want, Spanish. And 35 students.
And Viacheslav, what were you studying in college? Like, what was your main subject?
My main subject is philology. It's Arabic. It's Russian language and Russian literature. But every student which is studying linguistics need to have at least 2-3 languages at all. Okay. So they put me in this Arabic language group. So after 1 week, I never came back. So it really was, you know, it was kind of after I understood correctly, like Arabs say, it's kul shay maktub. Yeah, it means everything is predetermined. Yeah, everything is written already before you on your destiny, on your line.
Yeah.
Somehow it's some kind of fatalistic thing, but really it's philosophy which I really appreciated to have in my life. And since then, really, so my main job is I was studying hard for Arabic language to really understand it, to really be in touch with this culture, to understand it from deep. And after different position I had, I worked also in mass media. I worked in Arabic radio station in Moscow. So it was really based on.
When you were a kid, you never said, I want to be a recruiter when I grow up, right?
Never. I never expected it. I never thought about it. Just on a certain point.
And so what does your business do today, right? Going into your business, like how big is it? Just you? Is it a few other folks? And I understand you work in the Arabic world, but like what exactly do you help get foreign talent from Russia? Like what do you do?
Oh, yes, I'm telling you, it's interesting. It's unique because we don't have any competitors.
Yeah.
Because we created a niche in the market.
Cool.
And we really using it and we're really helping to each other, like me, Arabic, Russian, English professionals who really would like to be deeply connected with it. So I'll tell you one more story about this. It's really funny also. On the third point of my career, I was in the UAE already.
Okay.
And one of the projects, which also with a linguistic background, finished. I just really started to understand that for a long time already, I'm missing a lot of opportunities. So when I was in the university and someone just could ask me about would you like to participate in such kind of project, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm already was engaged with different requirements or different tasks. So I sometimes I missed a lot of opportunities which really were interested to me. And I had no one actually who I could really provide this information, provide this task. So what I did, I understood that I need to gather this information and try to give it to professionals like me. I tried to gather people around me, which is already working in maybe same fields, maybe working in kind of same position, which is really connected to Arabic language from Russia, from Russian-speaking countries first. And I started to distribute this information, to put it on Facebook. I started group only Facebook. It started growing, and I understood that this kind of give a job to another if you don't want it or you don't need it or you cannot do it now. This kind of principle could work.
Wait. To understand the business, right? Because I still don't understand the business.
I'm going to it. Yeah. I'm just really going to describe it fully. So I started from a group in Facebook and started to put the job and which is coming to me, which I took from internet, which I knew from everyone who is related to it, just to share this information with the folks, with friends, and all who could be interested. And it really creates not even a demand of it, but from the employees or from the really friends of mine, it's really created demand from the employees. It's really created from the companies who started to notice, oh, really, I need some kind of this guy. Do you have it?
And so what kind of guys are these? So these Arabic companies are coming to you, and what are they? Are they trying to?
So what? Now I'm ready to tell you what we basically do. So we are our first and ever maybe unique recruitment agency based in Russia, registered in Russia, and we are specialized in Arabic Russian speaking professionals. For me, it's not ever. It was never a criteria for me which specialty, which faculty you study from or you graduated from. Yeah, if you speak 3 languages, this is one and main criteria for me to deal with you. Yeah, to work with you, to pay attention to your CV and what we're doing. Yeah, we created some kind of connection, some kind of platform which is gathering professionals with 3 languages at least. It could be lawyers, it could be financial, it could be administrative.
Russian, right? It doesn't have one of the 3 languages doesn't have to be Russian or Arabic, or is it any?
No, it should be. It should be because I started from myself, and of course the most part of community I gathered and these groups which are really created now, they're basically speaking Russian. Yeah.
When you say 3 languages, you basically mean Russian, Arabic plus anything else.
English, at least, and maybe some French, maybe some Spanish, maybe some, at least it's a basic criteria for it.
What kind of jobs? Are you placing them into linguistic jobs or are you placing them into generic jobs?
Yes, thank you for this question. Of course, on the first period of time, it was basically related to linguistic, to translation, to interpretation, to teaching sometimes, but after we reached out of this circle, it's really becomes job placements related to different kind of administrative position, personal assistants. It could be lawyers. It could be some kind of financial positions. Sometimes it's reached to investments and so.
And now this is very important, right? So when did you start this business?
Yes.
When was the first?
I started it. It was January 2015.
Okay, so you started 5 years ago. Where is the business now? Is it 2 employees, 10 employees, 20 employees, and how many placements do you end up making every year? Just a rough.
Exactly. Yeah, we are not a big company, so I have a small part of maybe 10 persons which are really day-to-day interacting and connected to each other with different tasks in different departments. So we really started from recruitment, maybe not from recruitment, from from sharing jobs placement, and after it becomes part of recruitment. After companies came to ask, do you know, can you recommend, and so on.
Organic, right? And so
yeah
10 people, would it be correct to say you do about 200 placements a year? Is it more, less?
No, it's less now, because it's really demand on such kind. It's very narrow area, actually. Yeah. It's very niche, very like a boutique niche area, which is not very in big demand, but it's growing, really. What I noticed during these 6 years, it's growing up.
So how many placements do you expect the average recruiter to make in a year?
A year, I put my task at least 100
per person.
Or no, at least at all per year.
So 10 people doing 100. So 10.
Yes. Right. Yes. I'm trying to reach this number, but demand. The problem is not in the professionals. There are a huge number of competitors in market, but the companies which are sometimes don't estimate Arabic-Russian connection deeply. I tell you who is the business owners here we're dealing with. These are Russian companies who have some relations to Middle East. It's Arabic countries who have some relation to Russia or Russian-speaking community. So they really sometimes need this smart hiring solution, smart hiring assistant, just to understand and be part of this.
And Viacheslav, are you able to charge like a higher fee because you're so specialized?
Yes. And we are charging only companies. We never charging the candidates. Yeah, it's a policy, it's a philosophy.
In the Middle East, the average placement fee is probably for anyone that's like a white collar professional, I'm guessing is about 2 months of salary, right? About 16% a year. Are you able to charge that, or are you able to charge more or less?
Of course, it depends on position. It usually can start from like 8-10% from annual income. Sometimes in reach 20, sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 5%. Depends on what we actually agree and what the company wants. Yeah. So sometimes we charge 1 month's salary. It's like a basic one. It's really easy to understand there.
For an entry level role. So would it be accurate to say you're charging maybe between 12 and 16% on an average?
No, it's less. It's like 10 maybe, 10, 12
across all your placements. All right.
Yeah.
And so the next question is, when you started this alone, right? You were one person.
Yes.
Doing it. So when you sort of started this, what was the job you were doing right before starting this business?
I was the head of linguistic group, working in some kind of linguistic software, online translation engine we were creating, and so yeah.
So you were actually getting a salary at that point, and that was paying your expenses and stuff from that company.
I can tell you that when this project had finished, and it was really a gap for me to understand what I'm really now looking for. And this moment, this idea crossed my mind. I need to share information, because I started to looking for new opportunities to reach out. And I noticed that I'm not maybe applicable to all of them, but it's a really nice placement that someone maybe could use, someone maybe really could be interested. I just to start to share it. Yeah.
Viacheslav, when you start a business, right? Like money is obviously a big deal, right? Because you need money to survive and live, right? So how did you think about that? Did you have a certain amount of savings that you had saved up and you said 6 months I'm going to try, or
no?
Like, how did you live then? Like if you had if you had no savings at that point, how did you survive?
I really didn't plan it. I really didn't. Maybe I can tell you more. I wasn't ready to start something like this, but I really feel that I should do something on my own, and I really tried to do it. And it was a kind of idea I always have, and it succeeded. But to reach the first kind of money we even received, because it wasn't a task for me to gain money. And it wasn't. No, I just started from the philosophy idea I really had deeply in my head, and it worked. And maybe to reach first kind of penny, first kind of ruble come in, it was maybe 6-7 months. And it's
6 months from the time you started for the first.
Yes.
That's okay. So that must have been tough, right? Like the first.
It's tough. It's tough. It's always when you started something new and you started alone. It's a huge.
After efforts. That 6 months and the first time you made something, did you start making a placement every couple months, or how?
I started after I understand that I really can gain something and it's really could work, I started to create a really good team. Started to find mates who really could be a part of this, who are interested, and I find a lot of people actually who helped me in different levels, in different periods of time of growing as a company and growing as a very small business. But it wasn't a business first, but we gathered a lot of people, and it started to move around. Yeah,
this becomes very important, right? So as you've scaled this business up from 1 person to 10 people,
yeah.
have you used any funding? Like, have you taken a bank loan or raised investment, or did you just do it by the money that was coming from the placements?
I try to use my personal savings sometimes, because I never wanted to be connected to bank loans and some kind of this stuff. It's always working sometimes against. I don't want to be this part of story. Sometimes I borrowed money from my credit card just maybe to fulfill some gaps in financial stuff.
But you never raised like institutional money and sold a part of it?
No, I never wanted, and I never was looking for investors in the same field, because I really understood that it will be very hard at first, really, to for someone who is outside of this kind of niche understand it, and just it will not work, of course. So I just made all the efforts I could to improve it to a level when it could work as its own. Yeah.
And just so people know how much opportunity there is there in linguistics and knowing multiple languages, can you give an example of like how someone's salary changes as they go from like maybe just living in Russia doing a regular job to going to Dubai and doing a multilingual job? Like, is there a change in compensation?
Sure. You know, Dubai salaries as a Dubai living level and required income for sometimes very, very basic thing. It's much more, of course, than Russia. It's maybe triple time more you need to spend to really have a sustainable kind of level for living. Maybe it's as same as Russia. Yeah, that's why the position in basically in GCC countries in the Gulf are really had more compensation packages, and it looks better. Of course, it looks more competitive for the candidates, and it really works. But maybe like 70% from the clients we have, this is Russian companies which are working in the Russian market, sometimes working in Arabic countries. It's not a kind of job where sending a lot of Arabic Russian speaking candidates to Arabic. No, basically we try to find a balance between the placement inside the country, using some opportunities maybe to send someone outside for a task, for a project, for kind of
but
for a time to be.
You know, and an Arabic speaking Russian lawyer can make a lot more money in Dubai than they could in Moscow.
Yes.
Right. That's what you're essentially saying on an average.
Yes. It maybe he can make maybe triple. Maybe.
That's awesome. That's something for candidates to think about as well, right?
Exactly.
It's this opportunity because.
But what I can tell you, of course, GCC countries and the Gulf especially, it's a very competitive area. Even from outside, just imagine huge amount of emails coming to any HR of the Dubai-based company. And they're, of course, looking for candidates who are really locally based, who already in the UAE, who already have some kind of some experience in this.
It's easier, right? Because then you don't have to deal with.
Yes, of course. They arrange a lot of walk-in interview just to who is really can come today at 2 p.m. to meet, to start, and it's really big competitive field. Yeah.
Follow-up question to this, Viacheslav. So obviously you're doing Russian Arabic because you're Russian.
Yes. Yes.
With Arabic folks. But have you ever thought about scaling this up so you can do French Arabic and English Arabic and German Arabic and all the other combinations there are? Like, why not? Right? Like, why wouldn't you not? Why would you not do that?
It's the right question. I can tell you that I didn't think about it currently because I always wanted to be concentrated on a small niche which is never was created before me, which is never really seen before me. Wasn't noticed before me, and I'm really impressed and I'm enjoying every day because we have a huge opportunities to start from this to spread it. And if first 2 years maybe we're working on basically concentrate on the recruitment, after gathering like a database of like maybe 4,000 of CVs of such kind of professionals, we really understood with the team, wait, at least 50% of the database of CV we have, they translators, they interpreters, and they're really asking us for a job, and we don't have such placement. What we can do, we started to not to find the way how to where the placement could be. We started to create the placements. We created an in-house translation agency inside of my company. Understood. And we opened it from it's working now very good. It's Arabic specialized translation, interpretation, all the services we provide, and it started growing. It started also noticeable for some kind of clients. They ask, oh, you have also linguistic support. Okay, can you provide me translator in such area for such time, for such quantity of days? Can you do this basic? Can you localize my website into Arabic language? Can you? And after we on the linguistic translation base, we started to spread. We added 5 more languages, 10 more languages. Now we have 50 languages, but specialization is, of course, Arabic language.
Is the translation platform now a bigger business in the recruitment business, or is it equal size, or is it much smaller?
No, what I can tell you, it's really spread it very fast. It's good. I can tell you that it's most maybe like 40%. Maybe it's increasing to 50%.
Okay, so it's getting bigger.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
And do you expect the translation business to do $1 million next year, maybe, or the year after that? Like,
I wish, and I really making all the efforts to create this opportunity for me and for the company. I can tell you more. After maybe 4 years of working on in the same part of business, I understood maybe that as well. Okay, now we have recruiting, and now we have linguistic support, translation to. Okay, what else? Some part, maybe 30% of database, they are teachers. They are really can do language assisting, and they also asking about do you have a placement for teachers? I want to teach Arabic language, classical, and we opened our own online platform for online school of Arabic language. It was the next step.
So at a high level for the audience, what you've essentially done is you stumbled into linguistic recruitment because you were a linguist and you do much in Arabic.
Yes.
And then as you build a database of these linguists, you realized a bunch of them were translators. So you started a translating agency on top of recruitment.
Yes.
And that you see a lot of teachers, you have a lot of teachers in the database. You're trying to create like also an online teaching program where people can go and teach.
Exactly. That's what we did. Yeah.
I think that's a smart way of combining it and building $1 million plus business, right, over time.
Exactly. It's really creating. Sometimes which mistake people doing sometimes when they're looking for a job, they're really looking for a job. Yeah. They're looking for an opportunity, but sometimes we can really create this opportunity near us, besides us. It's really everything is connected. Everything is here. You just need to look around. You just need to be more concentrated. Okay, what do you have? What I have? And we starting to create these opportunities for teachers as well, and it really works as well.
And so obviously I'm guessing this is your next 4 or 5 year plan, right? Getting all of these pieces together and building a great business.
Yes. Now it's not really integration. Now it's really automation. And this is when CRM comes on the level of.
No, we don't like selling our CRM during these podcasts, right?
I know. I know.
Too self-promotory, like you don't want to be promoting yourself on your podcast. But so to finish up, right? Like closing questions.
Sure.
What is your situation like? Are you married? Have a girlfriend? Have a boyfriend? A dog? Children? Like what's the situation like?
Sure. I'm of course married. I have a beautiful baby girl, and it's really cool to. When you have a first child, it really opens for you another kind of world of opportunities and world of some kinds of tough requirements and more difficulties. But it's really a better world that I had before. Yeah. It's really better opportunities I had before. And I wish everyone, really, guys, have a family, have children, enjoy this. It really becomes helpful to everything you're doing. You'll see.
How old is your daughter now?
She's now 3 years old.
Oh, okay. So you've gone through the painful.
Yeah.
Phase of life.
I can say so. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And what's one piece of advice you would give your 20-year-old self?
20-year-old myself, I can tell that what I can blame myself maybe when from this opportunity now when I'm almost 36 and it was 15 years ago 20, just to maybe to look closer to everything around, to everything you have besides you. Sometimes we're so strictly in our mind, in our way of thinking, we're so
be more open,
so blocked, we never think outside of the box. That is what I'm trying to understand these years, and I was really wishing to myself maybe and to my mates and guys, think outside of the box. It's really sometimes you should expand your vision, you should expand your view, it will work. And the second piece of advice I can give, always keep going, always keep doing. If you want something to do,
keep going.
Do it. Now it's now whatever speed you are going, it's never was an issue. Just keep going because it never stop.
Viacheslav, that was obviously your advice to your own 20-year-old self. But,
yes.
We have a lot of people watching who want to start recruitment firms. So do you have any advice for someone that's starting a new recruitment business today?
Yes. When I really started this kind of business, for me, from the professional, from the background of you, I am definitely, and I wasn't ready to understand the processes. I never maybe read about hiring techniques and the processes, how it should be managed, how it should be done, what process should be involved, what departments, what people, what relation should be started to make it a successful flow. So what I really wish to everyone who's really thinking right now about entering this world, have an opportunity to study it. Maybe if you have an opportunity to work in some kind of recruitment agencies, in hiring, work in it at least 1 year. You should understand it from inside. It will be much easier for you, and you will not make so much mistakes as I did, for example. And this kind of it will be helpful.
Viacheslav's advice, especially as someone coming from a non-recruitment background, starting a recruitment firm, his advice is for people who are like him, who aren't from recruitment or don't currently run a recruitment agency or work at one, go get a job at a recruitment agency. Don't just start a business because you'll just screw up. So thanks a bunch for coming here, Viacheslav, and sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. I'm sure there's a bunch of Russian recruiters that are watching this and they're like, hey, we can go international too.
I hope.
So cheers, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode.
And that's all for today's episode of Recruitment Entrepreneurs. Like and follow us if you liked today's episode and want to hear more stories from the world of recruitment.